What's going on, my brother? How you feeling?
Hey, brother, I can't call it, man. How about you? Everything
I'm
good?
everything good, man. It's a lot of crazy stuff going on, man. I want to talk about um Iran and all that, but I want to get to Obama first, man. And it's quite funny to me that he criticized black men and he didn't talk about any of the issues that black men had. And to me, I respect any black man, no matter how he wants to vote, or whatever, because I know his walk in life hasn't been easy as a lot of people's here in the United States, even some immigrants. But even some Democrats were talking to Obama, MJ, and they were even saying, I understand the issue, but I don't know if that's how I would have went about it, trying to scold them like they little kids or telling them this. I think I would have went about it as saying, what's the issues and let us know what it is that we've done that is making you think about Trump or not voting at all. But for somebody who, number one, not trying to be disrespectful, him, Joy Reid, Kamala Harris, this prosecutor they got walking P. Diddy and Eric Adams out to prosecute him because so they don't want to make it look racist, so they got a black guy to do it. All of them are children of immigrants, and that's fine. I got Jamaican in my family. Some of my New York side family got Jamaican in them. But the point I'm trying to make is when you haven't come from the Great Migration, when you haven't come from the Civil Rights Movement, when your asses pretty much came over here afterwards and you benefited from it, and you telling the people who are the ancestors or the relatives of these people who made these hard sacrifices what to vote and how to vote, and you haven't done shit for them, I got a problem with that because you benefiting from a lot of hard people's work, blood, sweat, and tears. Meanwhile, you're no disrespect. Your dad was an African man. He came over here, got a woman pregnant in Hawaii. A lot of your relative years, you were in Indonesia. You'd saying Kamala Harris, she was with the has your experience. No, Kamala Harris was in Mother effing Canada when she was growing up. She wasn't here getting pulled over by the cops and failing the driver's license test and dealing with the racial profiling as a teenager when you first get your license, as we were. She came to D.C. because Howard was there, and Howard is very nice to minorities, and she also understands that Georgetown is a very hard university to get in. George Washington is a very hard university to get in. American University is a very hard university to get in. Howard's a very hard HBCU to get in because I couldn't get into Howard. I would still say they have a great academic standard. I could get into other HBCUs like Pine Bluff and Alabama State and Alabama A&M, but no, I would probably wouldn't be able to get into Howard. But you came here because of politics, and you got into Howard, and it was in D.C. But as far as you going through the struggle, nah, you wasn't here in the late '80s, early '90s when it was violent as a mother if out here in these streets and crack hit them. You wasn't going around, and you damn sure wasn't paying for food with them food stamp books that was blue, red, and all them different colors. See, y'all young people, y'all get a card now. When I was growing up, you had food stamps. That shit was like a blue piece of paper. It was blue, red money. And I seen my mom getting the damn government cheese in the milk, riding the Broad Street subway, catching the D train in the B train when I visited my family in NYC. It was a concrete jungle. And then you went ahead and said you used to listen to Tupac when you was in college. Tupac was 11, 12, 13, 14 years old. The point I'm trying to make is, yo, sell me some policies that a black man will vote on. I've heard Obama tear black men ass. Take care of your kids. You got all these damn chicks with these welfare and these child support scandals. You quiet as a church mouse, homie. So I could go on and on, but I gotta hear my OG's opinion on all this stuff that's going on with the Democratic Party right now.
Man, look, this is a very sad time we're living in, man, because they've they've manipulated our people to the point now where they no longer even vote according to their interests anymore. They vote according to someone else's opinion, or popularity types. Um, like I said, it's just sad because You talking to somebody that, man, I actually spent the majority of my career working in Foggy Bottom. Like for 20 years, I've commuted on the metro from Prince George's County in D.C. to Foggy Bottom, walk down um, Pennsylvania Avenue to 24th, and my office is right there on 24th Street. So I was right up in the mix, man, of all this politics. And then on top of it, I was doing work with Dr. Claude Anderson. So, going to CBC events and just interacting with these people, man. And it's what convinced me that I no longer wanted to be involved in that type of shit. Because, like, these people are actors, man. They're not real. Like, what you see on these screens is not who these people are. They're being paid to perform. And the reason why I can say this is because um, everybody will like to criticize Trump and say Trump is for a certain group of people because he was over there at their wall with one of them little hats on his head. Well, last I remember, Obama was in the same posture. He had to go over there and get at that wall and put that little hat on his head.
Yep.
The same thing with Clinton, same thing with Bush. Like they all have to do it, right?
Yep.
And that is an indication that these people are not representing you. I saw, look, Corey, this shit is funny. This shit is funny. I saw this ad today, right? I could not stop laughing at this ad. Somebody, I don't know who put this ad out. They had Kamala Harris as a prosecutor in California, right? She financed, or she allowed the government to finance sex change operations for prisoners,
I seen that. I was
right?
on the floor crying.
And at the end of the ad, it said Kamala Harris is for they them, not us.
Yeah. I was on the floor crying.
I was dying, my side was hurting, man. But this is what, like, these people, they're for whatever these people pay them to do. They don't represent us. And Corey, I'll be the first to tell you, man, I am not about these petty divisions that they have made among the working people. Right? To me, the only distinction is between working people and ownership.
Yep.
That's the only distinction I make, man. I don't make these distinctions based on ethnicity or religion or, who team you root for. I don't care. I look at ownership versus workers because right now the state of this country is that the ownership class is winning big and the worker class has just been getting beat down since, since the like early 70s.
And the funny part about that is to me is uh my wife's, you know, her family is originally from Texas. Her parents like, oh, you should just be a Republican. My mom grew up in Philly, loyal Democrat. I would say something about the Democrats when I was young. When I was young, Democrats would put programs in the black community, recreation center, basketball, baseball, football, give somebody a director of recreation job, summer camps. They would try and put money in the community to make stuff go. And that was the old school Democrat who came from the dude who said, if we pass this, we'll have these niggas voting for us for the next 200 years. Um, so to me, it's like when they ask me, and my mom's like, you should be a Democrat, people say this, and not in the back of my head, I'm like, nah, I'm an independent. If I'm a vote for you, you got to do stuff that makes sense to me, not that makes sense to you. And a funny thing you were saying about working class, you see where they drop the immigrants off. They don't drop them off at Dude's house in Martha's Vineyard. They don't drop them off in their neighborhoods. They drop them off in, like you say, working class neighborhood. Y'all can deal with them, and then y'all still supposed to kiss our ass and vote for us. But one thing that made me laugh, MJ, is Magic Johnson comes out, and this nut ass, you know what else? A great basketball player. We all love Magic for one time at a point in time. He got his money. Now I see why they let him own the Redskins. He didn't own it because he was allowed somebody to let him own it. Being the way he's talking, I see. But he goes out and he says, "Black men, you need to vote for this or that as a black man." And I'm sitting there thinking, like, dog, uh, you didn't even raise a black man. The black man you quote unquote raised thinks he's a damn woman. So me listening to you, you must be out your damn mind. You didn't even raise a black man. And then you running around doing all this other stuff, and we supported you when you went through your shit. And the fact you gonna tell us who you need to vote for, then you got D.L. Hughley sucker butt. I haven't liked him for years. Stick to comedy. You don't know mother effing politics. But what made me the most disgusting, MJ, is why do they think that a celebrity can tell somebody who works 40, 50 hours a week how to vote and they're not even in the same class as us?
Because they have zero respect for us. They have zero regard for our opinions. They think that we all base our decisions on who's popular, who's popping.
Let's say what it is. They think we are their slaves.
If you want to put it like that, I didn't want to go there.
I'm gonna tell y'all something. When y'all look up black people, and I had a person who helped me in high school. They are different ethnicity. When I was homeless, and they said I went over to visit Africa Corey, and I went, and I saw the walls, and I saw where they marched them down to, and he said what really made me sad was that most of the people that marched them to the transatlantic slave trade was other black people, and I just said, yeah, kind of like what I'm saying before. This is a well-known source, brother MJ, well-known source. Kamala Harris's ancestors owned slaves in Jamaica. That is confirmed. Irish. She's 1/4 black, and her dad always says that he doesn't consider himself black, but she sells that.
Yeah, when it's convenient. I mean, like I said, man, these people are performers.
Yeah.
They're not, the people that we see in front of these cameras are not real. They're performers.
But what makes me hysterical, MJ, is this nut gets on TV and say, "Black men, you need to vote for her." Like you said, yet you tell me how racist Trump is, but it's confirmed that your grandparents or your ancestors owned slaves, and they show the property where they owned slaves at from the Irish descent in Jamaica. Yet you can't show me Trump's parents owning slaves, and Trump's family came over here in like the 1880s or some shit. And I'm not saying I agree with everything Trump says, but all I'm saying is, and then this one had me on the floor crying, MJ. This one made me laugh. This dude says, for the brothers, we have to vote for somebody who will be for our mothers, our sisters, our wives, our aunts. And I'm sitting there saying, like, I ain't trying to be disrespectful. Like, nigga, your mom is white. What you talking about? Our mothers.
Yeah, that Obama.
like your mom ain't even like, what you talking about? Our mothers. Your mom ain't black?
Bro, let me tell you something. The Obama effect has worn off.
Big time.
It's gone, right? Whatever little effect he had on people when they, you know what I mean? Because the emotional attachment that black people had towards seeing a black man in the White House, regardless of whether the fact that he was an American black or African black or an Indian black, whatever.
Right.
Seeing somebody of our hue in that office, it was an emotional vote.
Some brother said that exactly what you just said. He said for our aunties, for our grandfathers, for our grandmothers.
And he's still trying to ride that, not understanding that, you do understand, nigga, that we just seen what you did.
For 8 years.
For 8 years, right? All that bullshit you was talking. And then, see, here's the kicker with Obama, right? People they're only going to ingest information that confirms whatever they believe about Obama. They're not going to listen to anything outside of that scope of range. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So most people don't understand that Obama's political hero that he wrote about in his book, if you read it, his political hero was who?
I didn't read that shit. Who was it?
Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, see, come on, dog.
Ronald Reagan was his political hero.
Not
right?
John F. Kennedy, Ronald Reagan.
Right. When Obama got into office and they asked him about his agenda for black people and what he intended to do for black people, he flat out said, and this is pretty much verbatim, I'm not going to do anything just for black people. I'm the president of the United States.
Yeah.
I will act in the best interest of all Americans.
Yep.
That right there should have gave you the high sign, like, oh shit, like this dude is bought and paid for.
Yeah, and on top of that, this is the hysterical one, but you passed a shitload of laws for LGBTQ. You did laws just for them. You did laws just for Asian people. You did laws just for everybody. I saw what you did.
That's what
did nothing.
That's what I was going to.
Trump goes and gives the HBCU president used to have to kiss your ass. Trump gives them more money than you ever gave them, and then you and
Bruh, look, this is one of the sad things about the Obamas. They come from working class. They what I mean. They had to grind it out to get to their positions. They weren't necessarily although we know Obama's his fairer side, they did have some elite connections because I think his grandmother was like the president of some bank or something like that.
Yeah.
But
his mom married an Indonesian dude who had power, and he lived in Indonesia for it. That's the shit I be talking about. Like him and Kamala, like they act like I don't see the trace. When they first had that black dude indict Diddy and mother effing Eric Adams, the first thing I said to my people, I'm like, watch this dude be somebody that's a son of immigrants. I guarantee you can't trace his roots back to slavery or the Great Migration. Same thing with Joy Reid. I went and looked him up. He's the son of Jamaican immigrants. The prosecutor.
But Corey, here's the kicker on this whole political thing, though, right? Think about this. Just think about this for a minute. They said Kamala Harris, I think they said she's raised upwards of $1 billion, I think, that they said that they've raised for her campaign, right?
But they ain't got money for FEMA.
But hear me out. I know Obama, they were saying that he had to raise $500 million for his campaign, right? He raised $500 million. That's $500 million, right?
Wow.
Why would I have to raise $500 million to get a job that pays $187K?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's lobbyists. And then that's another thing. When they told me that Kamala Harris, they raised $1 billion. So to me, what you saying is that y'all can't create black jobs. Y'all can't do this. Y'all can't do that. And that's
because they're beholden to the people who donated that $1 billion.
That's what I'm saying. And when I saw the play, MJ, when I first got out of college, it's an athletic conference. I ain't gonna say what it was. It's involved in college athletics, and I applied for a job. And I know I was well qualified for it, probably better qualified than some of the people they have in there. And I looked at the whole job, MJ, and I said, why is it nothing but... And I don't have no problem with white women. I got white women friends. Some of them agree with me. I had some fun in college. I ain't gonna say a lie like the rest of you Negroes and act like you was just on your pro-black stuff. But even some of the women agree with me when I talk to them. I'm just like, why is every single body in this athletic conference white women? I said, we created sports in America, especially athletics, for men and women. Title IX actually makes it as to where women have more sports if they have more of a female population at a school. So if you have an athletic conference, why aren't there women working in the women's sports and men working in the men's sports? Why is it just all women and then they got one token black dude that's the intern to make it look like they ain't racist? But the whole entire office is
I can tell
majority people who didn't play sports?
I can
And
tell you.
it's Obama.
I can tell you why. I can tell you why. I can tell you exactly why. Affirmative action.
And what does affirmative action initially pass for?
Supposedly for us.
Right, right. He also made all these incentives is to where if you hire that way, then you get paid more. Basically saying if you hire that way, you get paid more money. And then they always say you, oh, they're the minority in the working class. No, actually they're the majority because it's more of them than us.
Man, look, everybody benefits from our struggle except us,
Yeah.
right? Everybody.
You see it right here with these flights that they got coming from out of the country that Kamala is having come in to try and win her the election.
You say flights?
Yeah, she got
Oh,
flight.
okay.
They got flights coming in. They got flights
Oh,
coming
oh,
in,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and they
yeah. Yeah,
dropping people off.
I feel, yeah, I feel you on that. But like, I don't, I don't really buy into that theory. And here's why: because the popular vote don't get you into that office.
No, electoral college.
Right. The popular vote don't get you into that office. And we've seen here in recent times, we've seen both Al Gore and Hillary Clinton win the popular vote, and both of them lost. Right?
Right. And last
So
time, believe it or not, Trump had the popular vote, and he lost.
to Biden.
Yeah.
You see? So it's a see, this is like these are dirty little secrets about the American system that nobody really wants to discuss,
Right.
but these are subversive elements of democracy. Like if you got a system set up outside of the actual voting system where, that that is not democracy.
Right. Right.
At all.
And that's
Even the
why.
way they put it.
Right, and that's why California is running rampant because they lost a couple of electoral college votes because so many people moved to Texas and moved out of the state because of
Wow.
what's been going on. So they've just been trying to bring more people in to recoup from that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, to me, it's like you said it at the beginning of this conversation. Uh, they've never given a shit about the working class. Period. Like it, you could be black, white, Asian, Latino, whatever. They don't give a shit about the working class. They give a shit about lobbyists in the top 1%. And that's what frustrates me is that when they want to do something, they drop that shit off in our neighborhood. Whether it's COVID-19 or whether it's immigration, they want to drop that shit off in our neighborhood and then sit back in their mansions and tell us, oh, you're fine. You can just get over it. And then you got all these dumbass people because they live in upper middle class neighborhoods and they got the job that they want and the right person tells them who to vote for that they don't give a shit about anybody else. Just like when the man said, I was arguing with my mom the other day. She gonna tell me Elon Musk said this or said that, and I ain't the biggest fan of Elon Musk, but I just said, okay, where'd you hear that at, mom? She said he said it on here. So what did she show me right away? An article from NBC News. And I sat there and I said, let me see the article, mom. I said, okay, it says Elon Musk says this or that. I said, okay, now show me his exact tweet and quote where he said what you're saying he said. And then I showed her, and then it said he retweeted something. And I said, okay, you just sat here and told me, mom, that Elon Musk said this exact words. He never said those words out of his mouth. Yeah, but he retweeted. I said, okay, but you started off saying he said this. Now you're saying he's retweeting it. And I said, and this is the damn problem in the black community, and especially in general in America. If it's from the source you said, you just repeat the source. You don't really read what's under the damn surface. Therefore, you have working class people going back and forth over stuff based on their narrative or their favorite, kind of like boxing. If it's your favorite fighter, it's okay for him to do some bullshit. But if it ain't your favorite fighter, he's a sucker or he's ducking.
Mm-hmm.
it's the same thing, and it's incredibly frustrating that. And let me finish this real quick, MJ. So when I got in there and I saw that stuff and I saw what was really going on and who was hiring what, I sat back and I put my hand on my chin and I said, okay, this is some bullshit because when Bush first got out of the office, it was a mini recession, right? And I was substitute teaching. Check this out, MJ. I was substitute teaching for 60 effing dollars a day.
Wow.
$60 a day. Right now, obviously, you can make almost $200 a day if you just do Amazon Flex or you do food delivery apps. But I was substitute teaching for 60 something dollars a day, 65, $70 a day, with a bachelor's degree. This is right before Bush got out and Obama got in. Um, and I will say this: it went up to 110 or 120 when he got in. But I also noticed that there was a lot of bullshit with this IEP stuff, where they were just paying black women to put their kids on all these drugs, and they were just doing it because they take the money. And I noticed there was no discipline, and I noticed when I was growing up, certain people didn't get suspended or expelled, and I'm just supposed to deal with it. And the leaders are incompetent, and principals, vice principals, they just sit in their office, they make decisions, and they send these jackass kids back out with you with no discipline. You can get over it if you want to make this money, or we'll put somebody in here. Now you know me now, going on a couple of years. You know I said fuck that. I'm not doing that bullshit at all. You're not gonna have no. You're not gonna have me do that. I'm a hustler, baby. I'll figure out a way. I'll work FedEx. I'll coach this sport, that sport. I will find something else to do. We ain't about to have no kid talking tough to me, and then you say he's on the IEP. There's one situation where I got forehead to forehead. Right, I got forehead to forehead with a kid, and he talking about some bitch ass N word, and I just said do something then. Do something then. Got forehead to forehead with him. He start crying and saying, "Man, get out of my face." I said, "I'm in your face. Do something." Tough guy. He goes down and tell the principal. But guess what happened the rest of that class when that class saw that I did that shit? Do you think I heard a peep the rest of the damn period, MJ, at this inner city high school that I worked at?
Oh no, you got a bunch of act right now.
Yeah, everybody was quiet. Here go the paper. Mr. Corey, principal talked to me. He said what happened. I told him what happened. He said this, and I said, well, look here, there. Ain't nobody calling me that. So if you think you gonna scold me for that, I ain't gonna work here no more. You ain't talking like that to me. And it's funny how when people saw the consequences or they saw, oh shit, this dude can get busy too. Now everybody act like they got some damn sense. Yet Obama and themselves, no discipline, no repercussions. Put him on the IEP. Sit down and talk to him. This, and that. And I'm gonna finish with the state of Texas. Some dude came out here, and this I saw this on the FBI files. There be some FBI files I'll be wanting to send to you. This dude shot a mother and her 3-year-old kid. Then killed another chick that was a stripper or a dancer. He was a drug dealer. When it came down to it, he tried to get his sentence repealed. But you know, in Texas, they don't play that shit like we're in Wisconsin. Oh, we'll just commute a sentence. We won't sentence him to death row. We'll just let him stay his life in prison. In Texas, he wasn't thinking about that when he's killing kids. 10 years later, what the hell you think Texas did to that dude?
Let me guess.
What'd you say?
I said they fried him.
That's what I'm saying. You think he's still walking around breathing and eating our food?
Of course not. No, that ain't how the West work.
Yeah.
They fried him.
So that's what you gotta understand is that when the criminals here do stuff, they say I'm taking my chances. And I see it all the time here. He broke into this lady's car, he got shot in his ass, and he got arrested. The lady didn't even have to leave her house. They filled out a police work. She didn't have to go in front of no court. He was caught in her yard, in her car. He got shot in his ass. And he's going to jail. You ain't got to ask where you get your gun from and none of that other stuff. Nah. So that's my problem with a lot of these states is like y'all don't have no discipline. But if criminals understood what came with it, they were like, man, I ain't doing that shit.
No, you gotta make the consequences, man. If there's no consequences,
at all.
Then they're gonna run roughshod. You know what I mean? That's what certain people are. You got to have consequences.
Look, I mean, look at California. Look at some of these places they run. It's great. But what the everyday people don't understand is they tell you this because they know you ain't gonna do shit, and they just gonna go back to their mansion. They're gonna give you a speech, and then they're gonna go back to your mansion, and you can sit there and deal with all the shit show.
Nah, man, out over here on this side, on the East Coast, we dealing with mostly shorties doing, most of the damage because they know they're not going to suffer any
They're
consequences. So
not
you
held
got a lot of,
accountable. Yo,
yeah, man, you got a lot of
that's
shorties just running them up,
yo.
like
That's
like they
what Boosie was
wild, man.
saying. Boosie was saying like, yo, it was one chick who said that I had raped her, and she was in St. Louis, and I was all the way in Atlanta that same day. He said nothing happened to her. Do you know what South Korea just passed the law and said? If you
Well,
falsely accuse a man of any type of rape, you will get an automatic 10 years in jail. That's what needs to start happening here in the United States. And I ain't even told you about this. I got a whole blog, I got a whole book out for a list of men falsely accused. And this is how I know a lot of these sports commentators like Stephen A. Smith are suckers, MJ. Is because they went on and they went and said this and this about this Baylor scandal and this and that. But then when one of the dudes who got his NFL career ruined was found not guilty, they didn't do not one outside the lines, one segment on it, or nothing. They did some little thing that went across the bottom of the screen and you didn't hear shit. And when I seen that, I said these dudes are puppets and company men. And it's sad because at one point in time I used to look up to some of these dudes.
well, it's there's a historical element to this, this false accusation thing. You know that there were a lot of instances, particularly in during the antebellum and Jim Crow era, where you had a bunch of black men that essentially lost their lives,
Yep, Lynch Fanon.
um, just by virtue of accusations. No
Mm-hmm.
trials, no none of that, man.
A, a,
You had
go ahead.
towns burnt to the ground over accusations, man.
A brother
So
just in Illinois lost his last year of basketball because he got accused of something. They wrote on there rape. They knew it wasn't rape. Then they switched the word to sexual assault. And do you know what he had to actually ask the prosecutor, MJ?
was that
He had to ask to be able to bring his video footage to fucking trial. How would
that's
you
crazy.
have to ask
Yeah,
for
that's crazy.
straight up evidence? I remember one
Yeah,
coach got fired because the football team said they was going to boycott the bowl game because the daggone girl said that they did something. They didn't. They had it on tape. And then these simps going to go around and say, oh, that's a no way to treat a woman. Is that, oh, really, until it's in your privacy. See, this is what I don't like about these women, too. And this one chick who's a swimmer, she's finally getting it. And then I'll get to the Israel-Iran thing. 2019, MJ, before the whole swimming thing, they let a man win. This is when I was coaching college. They let a man win a track and field championship against a bunch of women. This Division Two. I went on YouTube. I'll send you the video, and I said something about it. Then when this dude finally won a women's swimming title against a bunch of girls, and it was on a big stage, and it was against girls who were from University of Pennsylvania and Ivy League schools. Now it makes national news. But when it was NCAA Division Two, or one of the smaller divisions, and it was in track and field, you didn't hear not one national story about this shit. And I'm sitting there laughing at myself like, yo, I said something about this 4 years ago. So as you see, nobody gives a shit about just right and wrong. It was only okay if it happens in smaller divisions. Once it gets to the people that it affects, and it affects somebody who got a little bit of political power or a lobbyist, now we want to speak up about it. And it's sad that it took the Olympics to say we're not going to let this happen. And as you said earlier, this diversity, equity, inclusion don't mean minorities. It means everything else except now.
yeah, man. You know what I mean? Trickeration. You know what I mean? Tricknology, whatever you want to call it. These people's are masters at it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And some people
Masters at it.
and some people are just dumb enough and to go along with it. And it's just like, okay, well, it ain't you making their job easy.
Yeah, Corey. I think at the basis of all this, we have to get away from wanting to be wanting to be so comfortable where all we do is consume all the time. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
We got to get out of that mindset, man. We
mm,
that ain't what made America great, man.
at
That
all.
ain't,
At all. I told you about the thing I said. Those people who was rich I live with, okay, we'll go out and eat here and there every once in a while. When you in town for a holiday, we'll take out to eat. But the most of the time, they budgeting and they putting themselves together, and we just, it's let's get to this Israel Iran thing. But my thing is just like they tell you celebrities who to vote for, and if Dr. Umar said this, it was funny. He said, "Let's see what celebrity they're gonna have come out." So you got Luke Campbell, Luther Campbell, Uncle Luke. I like Uncle Luke, but I think it's funny y'all talk all this shit, respect women and this and that, and you got Uncle Luke on there who was talking about pop that pussy, pop that pussy. You know what I'm saying? So you know, and that's
kind
why
of
they
hypocrite.
keep us fed up in this stuff. That's why the Diddy thing happened, and then the Eric Adams thing happened to distract us from what was really going on. And they
Yep.
knew this was the biggest election, and they need to. They probably doing something behind the scenes to try and sneak some bullshit around, and they're all puppets, man.
Yep.
They're all puppets, controlled by lobbyists in a certain family that structured the financial system. Now, when it comes to this war, MJ, I don't want a war for one reason. Too many
Too late.
American lives. I know it's too late, but it's too many American lives
Mhm.
and too much
Yeah.
bloodshed.
Yeah.
I was watching this documentary on this guy who was in the White House when George Bush was trying to go to war, and they said Colin Powell was trying to stall it as long as possible. And this is this white dude. He says it really hurts my feelings because Colin Powell was the one black dude that the American public trusted, and they made that man lie so they could go to war with Iraq. I want to say Rumsfeld was another one, and he was saying, what is that going to do if we go to war with Iraq? The problems it's going to cause. Every Iraq war veteran, whether he's Democrat, Republican, or Independent, they all say after looking back and doing it, I think it was a horrible decision because now it's way worse than it was before. And
Hey, hey,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, bro. I want to hear what your aspect.
Yeah. I wanted to ask, have you ever heard of the PNAC?
I have.
It was a document that General Wesley Clark made the public aware of during, I think, the second Bush, like baby Bush, presidency. The PNAC. It was called the Project for a New American Century. And in this document, they outlined how they were going to destabilize um, the eastern part of the world, particularly the Middle East, um, by basically going in and flipping the regimes in a bunch of different countries.
Mm-hmm.
Among them, Iraq, um, Libya.
Mm-hmm. You see, they
Um,
killed Gaddafi.
right, exactly. So Syria was a one of the. So
Yep.
all the countries that they named in this document, that is basically those countries are the countries where all these like little wars and skirmishes have taken place.
Yep.
So now where we're at, see, just like we said before, these people are bought and paid for. So it doesn't matter whether your president is red or blue, Democrat or Republican, conservative or liberal. It don't matter because they all gonna do as they told. They
Yeah.
all gonna take. They all gonna take that trip over to a
The
certain country
the wall.
and right and put their hand on their wall
Yep.
and
Yep.
put their little hat on there and put their little hat on and be obedient.
And I'm a.
So
Yep.
so what you got right now, brother, we are in the throes of uh, empire declining,
Yeah.
right? We're in the throes of it, man. These are death pangs.
Yeah.
What's happening right now? All these are signs of desperation. And did you hear the report out? Did you see the report about one? There supposedly was a cyber attack in Iran. Did you hear about that?
I didn't hear about that, but I will say this. Anybody who doesn't understand history, learn about history. And I know MJ knows this, and I read this, but I know people are going to ignore it. And I screenshot stuff when I see it. Too, I already knew this, but I screenshot it because when you say something, a lot of times Google will switch it out and switch up to try and switch it to do the argument. The most peaceful time in Jerusalem was the 500 years that the Ottoman Empire owned it. And I want everybody to understand one thing. There's always been Jews, Christians, and Muslims in Palestine, um, and in
Think about
Jerusalem.
that whole region, man. That whole region. These people, yeah, these people live amongst one another. Obviously,
yes,
the holy sites for all these different
yes,
religions throughout that region. So,
and the
people,
biggest problem is us and the Allied powers, which is what they call Zionism, decided that we were going to relocate the European Jews to Jerusalem and steal these people's land. And instead of just saying we fucked up, we just keep lying. And it has been more violent in the last 60, 70 plus years than it had been 500 years prior to that because of that.
Well, that's a fact. That's a fact. Yeah, that's a fact, and that's by design. I mean, they knew.
Yeah.
Because you do know that wasn't the first site for Palestine. Wasn't the first site for Israel. They were originally going to put Israel in Africa.
Yes.
I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, no, I knew that. It probably would have did better there, but they were going to put it there. But
no, but it look like Biden says. Biden is on record saying this. If Israel didn't exist, they would have to create it.
Yeah.
He's on record saying that.
Yeah.
Cool.
But man, you know what's sad about that? If you really think about it, you know what the European countries are saying? Put them motherfuckers somewhere else because we don't want to deal with them. That's really what they saying.
Man, look, Corey, man, them people over there, they scared shitless, man. Because, you know what I mean? They just across the Mediterranean from, right? They just, man, look, them people over there they are the real motherfucking warriors over on that side of the world, B.
Yes.
Like, they're the real warriors. Like, if you think about it, because that is where the fronts were. When you talk about these world wars and all that, all those fronts was in Europe. You know what I mean?
The Mongolian Empire. Think about how far Genghis Khan reached.
Exactly, man. Exactly. So, like, this has a lot, like you said, a lot of basis in history, and it's a thread that runs obviously back, hundreds of years through these developments. But what we've got to understand is that we're people think the United States runs things, and we don't, man.
No.
All we are cops. We're just like the muscle.
Yeah.
For the elites, right?
And he telling Joe Biden even telling him like, nah, I ain't give him no permission to escalate this shit, but he really can't say nothing. And this is my thing is like, no matter what you do, no matter how you put it over there, these people ain't like us over here. They ain't like, the Native Americans was outgunned and outpowered. These people ain't outgunned, they ain't outpowered, and they realize after when y'all colonized them before, and you know what's funny? Europe colonized Libya, Egypt, Algeria, and Morocco and all that at one time. Guess what? Even after all that, them people still didn't go to y'all way of life. Them people still was like, nigga, fuck you, I'm Muslim. I ain't going to this shit. This is how our way of life is. And what they don't understand is, like in Afghanistan, now that they got the same power and the same everything, they like, nigga, we will die over this shit. We not just going to sit here and let you take our shit from us. We'll listen. They keep fucking around, MJ. And it was really pissed me off because I watched a clip of Fox News the other day. And I forget what her name was. It was Fox Business. I'll send it to you. the lady goes, the guy goes, I don't want Israel to keep escalating, and I agree with him. He said because in the long run, that's what China wants. They're gonna supply weapons, and if the U.S. is fighting another front, it's gonna make it easy for them. And the Fox News lady says, yeah, of course that's what China wants. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, so excuse my language, but so broad. I ain't gonna say the bi word because it might be somebody's wife and mom. I'm sitting there saying, so broad. Why would you sit there and say you want a war, and if you know that's what China wants? Like it's like one of like y'all all sound so dumb to me. Like one channel will say we don't want a war, the other channel will say yeah we should just go in Iran. And I'm just sitting there thinking like, all you son of a bitches that's on this pro war stuff, all right, let the young people who are in the military go. And all y'all who talking online, we'll go ahead and train y'all. We'll give y'all a gun, and y'all go over there and try and F with them Hamas niggas and them Hezbollah niggas that are already in the sea. Well, how that shit feel with that guerrilla warfare. Go ahead and try and fuck with them people. They ain't playing with
Man,
you.
look, man. General, there's a former officer in the military named General Smedley Butler, right? Smedley Butler. Ironically, his name is, you know what I mean, is one of them names you think is, it's a cartoon name, but he's a real dude, Smedley Butler. He basically he pulled the curtain back on war, and he described war as all wars as bankers' wars because they finance both sides of the equation, and they make mad money, and at the same time they get to reduce population.
What happened when my grandpa was young? World War II. What happened? The factories was filled with money and making
Oh my
stuff,
goodness!
and women was
Oh
making
my,
stuff.
oh my goodness, man!
The economy was
Yes,
jumping.
yes. That's how America became so wealthy, man. World War II.
Right after the
When
Great Depression.
when the dust was settled from World War II, everybody else was decimated except America.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
That's how we. And now what you're seeing is they're setting up another scenario where they're going to have another, conflict, worldwide conflict,
Yeah.
where they're going to, they're going to get rid of a lot of people because a lot of people are now aware of a body count during World War II, but the body count, it was significant.
And you know what's funny? You made a great point earlier when you were talking about World War II, and I just thought about something. When World War II was happening, um, they and like the doctrine you said that they're going to try and take these Middle East rulers. Y'all, in a way, America created ISIS. Y'all created ISIS. Y'all created the Shiite militias. Y'all created
ISIS stands for Israeli Intelligence Service.
Yeah.
That's what ISIS is a product of the Mossad and CIA, baby.
Yeah.
Make no mistake about it.
Yeah, they created that. When you go over and you take Saddam out and then you create these Shia militias, like y'all created, and then and this is what's funny about them saying, we want the people of. They always tell you that same shit, MJ. We want the people of Iraq free. We want the people of Afghanistan free. And as soon as we leave and we pull out, what happens? The tough, bad son of a bitches in Afghanistan, it's the Taliban. In in Iraq, you see now, so listen, the toughest motherfucker wins in those companies. And they say, all right, that bullshit they trying to sell y'all democracy or whatever that shit is over, nigga. Everybody get back in their position. Y'all know what this is. Y'all know who run this shit. Anybody try some stupid shit, we putting hands and feet on you.
And bruh, look, just in case Muggs be thinking that we just be talking out our ass and that we don't have any sources or anything that backs up our facts. I'm holding a book right now. It's called The Rise and Kill First. The Secret History of Israel's Targeted Assassinations. And it's by an author named Ronan Bergman. Right?
Yeah.
If you want to get the skinny on exactly why Israel is moving the way it's moving, get this book. It's a thick joint. It's about 750 pages, but this joint will make you hyper informed so that you don't fall for the okie doke that they put out on the mainstream media. Because this dude who wrote this book, he's a well-known journalist in Israel, but he's like on the he's not on the mainstream side. He's on the counter side.
Right.
This book is a bestseller, man. This book has been out at least 6-7 years, man, and I guarantee you, most people have never even heard of it.
Yeah.
Mo-
How you gonna occupy somebody else's land? Like how you gonna tell these people in Gaza
Exactly.
and that you can't have control of your ports. You can't go to Egypt if you want. You just gotta sit there and wait for us to do what we want to do with you. And the same thing with the West Bank after you took that from them. Like how you just gonna sit there and then think that they supposed to like thrive? Like you like this is a boy, and like you said, like it's a total setup because what they doing is like me and you walking down the street in Baltimore, and we know we got the realest dude out of East Baltimore or West Baltimore. So when we walk down the Ave, we bump into whoever. We dare somebody to do something to us because we know if anything happened to us, it's gonna be repercussions. That's what they doing.
Facts.
Because
Facts.
yeah, because they keep on saying like you know what Iran said. Iran just said, all right, y'all can try us if you want to, but we've been preparing for a war with the U.S.
Oh, there was a drone attack today in Israel. Did you hear about that?
What happened? Oh yeah, from Hezbollah.
They said something like 40 people got injured
Yeah,
in this drone attack today.
yeah,
So,
and they keep talking this trash, and I don't think they understand is like when Iran saw what they did to Iraq. You know what Iran was sitting there saying? Hey, we about to prepare. These niggas ain't doing this to us.
they know they're gonna be next, of course, because look, man, this is the dirty little secret. When another country sees, especially a country that got their ish together
Yeah.
and they got their own industries and they don't have to rely on you or your money.
Right, they're bad
Um,
all of a sudden. Yeah.
right. When they see how you do, like when Iran, remember, Saddam Hussein was our man.
Oh
We
man.
put Saddam Hussein at the head of Iraq
Right.
because we wanted Saddam to get rid of the Shah in Iran, right?
This is the shit
Iran,
I'm talking. Oh my god, this is the shit I'm talking about. Americans
yeah,
are so fucking dumb, MJ. The reason why you got the Ayatollah and the grandmother effing whatever the grand leader of Iran is because y'all mother effers ran the Shah up out of there. Then the strict Islamic brothers came out and said, "All right, no more of this shit. We putting hands and feet on everybody. We'll let y'all vote for whatever president y'all want, but we still gonna have a supreme leader, and he's gonna be a Shia scholar, and that's the end of that shit." So the
hey,
Iran
Corey,
Revolution was started by these dumb shits. Now they trying to turn around and say, "Oh, the Iranians are oppressed." Come on, man! Like get the fuck out of here. We know the play.
hey, Corey, you want to hear something funny, man? Check this out. This was back like maybe, I mean, it was a while, maybe 10, 15 years ago. Remember I told you was catching the metro to work. So one time I didn't have my ride parked at the metro, so I had to catch a cab from the metro to my house. It's only like a 5 minute ride from the metro to my house, so it wasn't far at all. But I get in this cab, and this cab driver, I noticed this dude. He's looking like kind of Middle Eastern, so I figured he's from that part of the world. So I asked him what country he's from. So he goes, "I'm from Iran."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, whoa, okay, no doubt. I was like, yeah, I mean, and he was like an older cat, so I was like, yeah, you remember the revolution? That's why you here? He was like, of course, that's why I'm here. He was like, America, a great country. Like, you know what I mean? We come here for your freedoms and blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, okay, you saying that. You really believe that? And then I said one word. I was like, Mossadegh, right?
Uh-huh.
Mossadegh.
Uh-huh.
And that dude looked at me through the rearview mirror, and his eyes got real big. He was like, Mossadegh, you know my history, huh? You know my history. Right? I fucked his head up because he wasn't expecting me to know about this dude Mossadegh. But Mossadegh was he was a cat that the United States, they actually either Mossadegh got overthrown or it was something foul that they did to get Mossadegh out of office. I think he might have got assassinated or it was something shady. that the U.S. was behind in
Yeah.
getting Mossadegh out of power. But
Right.
Mossadegh was the dude that nationalized Iran's oil. Like before Mossadegh, they they were on the capitalist thing where they had foreign countries coming in, setting up shop,
Mhm.
extracting their oil like everybody else does. Mossadegh like nah. Shut all that down. We process our own oil. We sell our own oil on the market.
Right.
That's what got him dealt with.
Same thing.
So
Same thing with the dude you said earlier, Gaddafi. That's pretty much what happened with him.
same thing happened with Gaddafi. Exactly. So they don't expect a lot of times they don't expect the rank and file American to be aware of this stuff because they just assume that we get our news the same place that they get their news from the mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
They're not used to people, especially now with the internet and stuff. Like they're not.
That's why they want to censor it now. Oh, they
That's why
know
they
too
want
much
to
of our bullshit. We can't let
they,
that happen.
Man, look, man, this thing it goes a lot. The world is it's a big world, man, but it's small in a lot of ways, man.
Yeah.
Like it's very small, and they put us in bubbles to kind of keep us, just focused in on our little bubbles
On the stupid
and not
bullshit. The same bullshit.
yeah, yeah, man, and it's I'm trying to I'm really working hard to break myself out of this bubble, man. I told you I'm going to Panama in January.
Yeah.
That's just the first. That's just going to be the first of many stops. I'm going to these foreign countries, but I'm trying to get out of my comfort bubble, man, because this thing is changing. I can feel it. I know that this system is reaching its apex. It's already it's on the decline, man. It's already reached the apex. It's on the decline.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
we gotta be prepared to move.
and on what you were saying just now, bro. When Obama said black men, didn't I see this summer Kamala Harris had men in dresses in the White House? She ain't had no black men. She didn't invite no black men in the White House. She invited men in dresses in the White House. So those should be the men who should be voting for her.
Like all of a sudden these people care about black men, right? I didn't hear none of these people coming out and matter of fact, wasn't Obama in office when the George Floyd thing jumped off? Wasn't that Obama? Was that Obama?
No,
Or was that Trump?
that was Trump's last 3 months, and it was COVID.
Who?
It was Trayvon Martin when he was in office.
Trayvon, right? Exactly.
And then the other dude in St. Louis. Philando Castile. No, Philando Castile. Yeah, you're right. That did happen that summer. He didn't do shit about it. You're right.
And Mike Brown.
And yeah, right? the dude in for Ferguson.
Yeah, Mike Brown. Right, that was Mike Brown in Ferguson.
Okay, you're right. That's Ferguson. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you remember, Obama wasn't going out of his way to do nothing in terms of dealing with black male trauma from witnessing all these brothers being executed like that, right?
That's a sucker. He had Eric Holder. He didn't do nothing. He didn't press no charges, and that's what the funny shit about it is. They all do this big press conference and act like they're gonna do something, and then this new prosecutor with Trayvon Martin, and it's like you said, it's horseshit. It's a bunch of hot air. It's a bunch of bullshit. The dude, I could at least respect Trump because the dude who dragged the brother to death in Texas, the mentally disabled brother with the chains along the truck, they asked if he was going, and Obama could have pulled it a long time ago. He didn't order the execution, but Trump did order the execution.
Yeah. Man, I don't even like talking. I don't even like saying that cat name, man. That the Barack cat. I don't even like saying his name, man, because the dude is just.
He's a sucker.
Man, it's hard for me to put in words the amount of disdain I feel for somebody like that.
If I was walking down the street and somebody was like, "There go Barack Obama," I'd literally look up and I'd keep walking.
Keep it moving, man. Keep it moving, man. I don't give a fuck.
I don't want to shake your hand.
Like you come from working class people and you totally just like just totally abandoned them.
Yeah. And every time he said it, even when he was on the Breakfast Club, well, it's not my job to tell black people to do this. And it's okay, it's Charlamagne. Now let Trump say some shit like that.
Yeah. By all measures, man, we did worse under Obama than any. I'm talking economically. than
Yes.
any other
Like,
place.
what did I tell you
In
when
this,
I got out of college? The shit that was going on and the bullshit that was going on. That's when I sat there and said, I'm going to start creating my own. I ain't depending
yeah,
on the system. Like, that was when Obama was in, is when I stopped believing in the system.
yeah, man. Yeah, he to me he signaled to me that the system recognized that it was finished.
Yeah.
That to me was the signal.
And it
That
also
you
let me know when they act like they going to actually give you something and you think it's something new. Nope, it's a trick behind it. We going
oh,
to
it's trickery.
yeah,
Yeah, it's definitely trick down.
we gonna put this face and make it seem like the America's the greatest, but behind it, it's a bunch of bullshit. Matter of fact, you got Hulu, MJ?
Yeah, I think I do have Hulu. Yeah, I
I
think
want you
so.
to watch this documentary called The Looming Towers.
Looming Towers.
The Looming Towers. I'm gonna send you that information. This
Okay.
dude, when he got over to Afghanistan, it was a young white dude. He said, "Hey, I got over there, and I said this is America, we're the greatest country on the earth, all this other stuff." He said, "Then once you get over there, and you start shooting and you start killing all this crazy happening," he said, "you realize it's a bunch of bullshit and you're just putting up a secret wall to put on this damn act." Another thing, it's a dude that they fired from the FBI. Wait till you see this on the Looming Towers. And he told these motherfuckers they are going to hit the World Trade Center. Broke my heart when I watched this documentary, me and my wife. When they hit the World Trade Centers, he died in there.
Damn.
He
See,
was
they ain't get.
he was an FBI agent, and he had got fired because he was doing some stuff and he was trying to warn them about it. So the next job he took was being a security officer in the towers. He saw the shit in '93 when they hit it the first time. He said the next time they're gonna take him down. And he kept trying to tell people about it. Kept trying to tell people about it. He ends up
Damn.
dying in 9/11.
That's crazy. Damn.
But
Man.
a lot of the shit that goes on, we know about it beforehand, or we let it. That's why people got all these conspiracy theories, because we'll go take Diddy down, and we'll do all this shit about Diddy and Eric Adams and all this shit. But it's a couple times in the Clinton administration they had a clear shot, drone shot on Bin Laden, and they didn't drop it on him.
Yeah,
This after he bombed all the embassies and everything.
yeah, I can believe it. I can definitely believe it, man.
So you hit it right on the head. When the worst I ever did in my life was under Obama. And as soon as Trump got in office, I started getting my hustle on, and I was just like, now I can make some money. And it's almost like Democrats think like this: how dare you go get some money without my approval?
Yeah, man. See, this is, people got short memories, bro. But I remember. See, the reason why I remember Obama so vividly, man,
And you was
is
right there.
because
You was closer to me because you know what I'm saying. Like out in certain parts of the
oh, man, come
and
on, man. My wife was at his inauguration. She was on the little volunteer committee down there freezing to, you know what I mean, get people to the inauguration and all that shit. I wasn't going down there for that shit.
right.
I was like, yo, this is insanity, bro. And then when he got in there, the first thing he did, do you know the first official thing he did?
Probably some LGBTQ or something.
No, no, remember.
What he did? Oh
He,
no, the bailout. He bailed out all the fucking big
he
corporations.
bailed out all the banks. He bailed out all the banks when he should have bailed out the people.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of giving all that money to them banks, he should have let them distressed banks fail. And he should, just like they gave money to people during COVID, remember? When
Yep.
they cut everybody a check, remember?
Yeah, that's what he should, especially because that was literally the hardest year to be a cop. Because that's when a lot of people start coming up with the conspiracy theories about college, and I don't want to go to college no more. And David Banner was doing the thing where college is a scam. And I started telling people, I said, no, 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 college ain't no scam. Take what you need to learn from it, because what you will learn from it. Because when they say, because I got a bunch of websites, and you know this, and it's some people don't give me press credentials, some don't. But the thing I tell people about social media, don't be on there making memes about Diddy and trolls and worry about thumbs up. Actually go in there with talent. And what I use social media for is, with the other things that I'm good at is I'm like, yo, You can go ahead and play with me what you want. You can. Some people give me media credentials, some don't. But if my website gets the most traffic and I know the most shit, people gonna fuck with me. And then you gonna have to come to me with a check because you see that people fuck with me. And then when that happens, I ain't gonna come to your events no more. I'm gonna just tell you, you can pay me to outsource my content because I don't trust you now, motherfucker. Because I don't know what you're really trying to come at me for. So we can do a joint partnership and you can outsource it. But the thing I remember most about that time is how hard it was for people to get jobs. Not only men, but black men. Just like me, I told you on the phone at one time. My homie, Steve. My homie, he that was his name, Steve. He was a college basketball player. Me and him did a PE project or a project for one of our classes. We were supposed to do it with this other cat, white dude. Got no problem with white people. I got white friends. He ain't show up. He disappeared. Steve was about to start the season. This is in the fall before they, go on the road and do all their preseason tournaments and then they big, what do you call it, big turkey tournaments. And he was about to be traveling over the country. White dude didn't show up, so we went to the professor like, can we just do the shit ourselves without him? Dude tries to show up the Sunday before, call him in Steve, the Sunday before to turn the project in. We like, nah, we already turned our project in. You can go with somebody else. We ain't with that last second shit. Make a long story short, Steve goes overseas to play basketball in Europe, making like 100K a year. I go on to do my thing. Same class, same everything. This cat that I'm telling you about, his dad is the coach at one of the county schools. He's in the school district as one of the teachers. When we get out of school, who you think had no problem getting a job within 6 months of graduation, and who you think still was substitute teaching district to district trying to get in somewhere 2 years, 3 years later?
Hey man, that's how it works, bro. That's how
So,
it works, unfortunately.
so that's what I'm trying to teach young black dudes to say, hey, bro, when they don't give you something, use your brain. I don't care if it's a science academy, a history academy, or even an academy where you're good at basketball and you're getting these kids. Start your own school.
Well, and if you hustling, even if you want to grind, man, if you working, if you doing a 9 to 5, peep this, man. Back when I first got out of the military, I took a job um at this home improvement joint,
Mm-hmm.
like a little mini Home Depot type of situation, but it was a regional joint. I took a job, and the dude that hired me, he hired me to work in their loss prevention joint, which was
Okay.
security.
Security at Las Vegas. Yeah, they hung me up when I was like 15. I was trying to steal gold chains. Go ahead.
Right. So he hired me to do loss prevention, but I was at their headquarters at their warehouse and headquarters. So it wasn't like I was in no store dealing with the public. I was just dealing with employees coming in and out and all that kind of shit. But I started at that job in security. Do you know? And I started with no degree. By the time I left that company, I was no longer in security. I was a data control supervisor in the IT department, and I had a degree.
Wow.
So my whole point is, if you're going to hustle, have a strategy to your hustle.
Right.
Make sure that you got an objective and you're not just, doing it for a check. The dude that hired me was like, man, you way overqualified for this position. I don't see you in this position, for no more than a year or so, and then you're going to be out.
Right.
But he didn't understand. I had an objective. I didn't need money at the time.
Right.
What I needed was credentials.
Thank you.
Because
Yeah.
back then we talking in the 80s, motherfucking late 80s, early 90s, credentials, man. If you don't got a degree, they're not even going to interview.
Yes.
You're not even going to get the interview,
Yes. Exactly.
So that was just part of my strategy.
Yes. People don't understand. I told you before, I always wanted to coach college athletics. And there's other type of coaching things like where you can be the strength and conditioning coach. You still need a degree. So you can be as good as you want, but to get into certain places, you need those credentials. So that's why I went through it, because it's like I can either be in coaching athletics or I can still coach in athletics and be strength and conditioning, because you go through these coaches associations and they supposed to put you with the internship with one of these big college campuses, and then you build your resume like that. But even if you don't get one of these, if you got that credential from that, it's like, okay, I'm the same credential as the guy who's the strength coach at LSU. I can start my own gym. I don't have to sit around and wait for somebody to call me back. That's what I want people to understand is like go to college because if you go to college, you're going to absorb some shit. I absorbed in college no matter how good you work or no matter how hard you work, if a professor like this person or like that girl, they're going to give you a C no matter what. And then you're going to come across your professors that you end up being close with and they're going to see something in you and they're going to give you an A or a B. And then when you're wrong, they're going to show you how to correct your paper and do help you do things better. But then you, no matter what, how hard you try, it's going to be some people that's going to try and shelter you. That's going to prepare you for the real world because you're going to see that you applied for this job or you did this right at this job so hard, and it's one play day you're going to get upset with it and you're going to say, you know what? Fuck all these people. I can do this shit myself. I can create this shit myself. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to put you sucker duckers out of business.
There it is. Boom.
So you go through that bullshit, and those and in a couple of my people was talking about too, and it's the time and the management. You know, it's a reason why everybody on Capitol Hill and other places they'll tell you, oh, you don't need to do this and you don't need to do that. They all went to Harvard. They all went to Yale. They all even Kamala Harris. She went to Howard. They all went to these colleges and had these prestigious degrees. When you go to college, you understand how to manage money. Like me and you talk about on other shows, MJ, where we talk about certain athletics. These people don't know how to manage money. They're just giving money and then they think they don't realize you got a management. When you go to college, you understand I got this refund check. This motherfucker got to stretch from August to December and I got to get a financial aid job. That's why I think giving these athletes NIL is the worst thing ever. Because at some point, you got to say to yourself, what is a college degree worth? Just giving them all this money means nothing. When you go to the NFL, it's budget cuts, homie. If you get injured, they put you on injury reserve and you get a set salary. You don't get paid what you was going to get paid before. This one kid, he left for 100K. He said they didn't give me my 100K. The team was undefeated. They just put the backup quarterback in and they still stayed number one. They didn't care. And my thing was you went to that school for the wrong reason then. NFL teams and even other college teams are going to look at that different too. You left the team undefeated because you said you didn't get 100. You only got 3,000 relocation. The 100K they got till the end of the season to give you based on your performance. That's how it is in professional. You don't just get it all up front. You see
Yeah,
what I'm
that
saying?
shit.
Like,
That's weird, man.
yeah,
That's weird.
these kids don't understand. Like, you are going to, and I remember when a college town used to be cheap, and some of these bureaucrats then tried to turn the college town into a corporation and making these apartments that would be like 200, 300 a month efficiency, making them six, 700, almost 1,000 a month. And I'm just like, this is ridiculous. This is not what made our country great. It made it great because you could go away for 4 or 5 years, six if you want to get a master's degree or higher, or get extra eligibility. It was set up so you could go somewhere, learn, party, get all that shit out you, and then still have a connection to something that can get you financially taken care of until you retire. That's why these institutions were built and made up. And I think most people in the hood should go party rather than shooting each other over little kiki and rah rah and over the baby mama daddy and drama because then you go and you get all that jealousy, all that emotion and all that shit out. Meanwhile, learning how to take care of yourself at the same time. You go through that, and then that way, when you get older, you ready to start a family, and you because once I was done, I'm like, all right, I'm ready to get to this bread. I want to buy a house here. I want to do this. I want to do that. I wasn't worried about I'm trying to clap this chick's cheeks that stay in this dorm over here. Now it's time to go get it. What's the chick that's gonna ride with me on my mission, on my tour, or my ride, or whatever I want to do in life? They don't under people don't understand that they stuck on stupid and they keep repeating the same dumb things. So a lot of times college is about the experience you get, understanding how these systems work. You see how MJ is spitting on how these systems work. You see how I'm thinking because I'm an open thinker. Like even my mom's generation, I love her, but it's a little different. They was learned to be glued to the news no matter what. The news like they grazed that generation to turn on the news. My grandmother, almost 100, turn on the news. My mom, pushing 70, turn on the news. That whole generation was Turn on the news, and they was glued to it, and they believed it. And it was at the
Facts.
time that the news was reputable. Then you start to see like, okay, they just selling bullshit, and they got these motherfuckers. They talk about people in jail institutionalized. It's working class people that's institutionalized, and they just want to watch the news.
Man, that's crazy you say that. It's crazy you say that. Because you know, some of my earliest memories are I'm like a shorty, maybe, 2, 3 years old. And a treat for me was staying up late with my great grandmother and watching Al Sanders and Jerry Turner on Channel 13 News in Baltimore. That's crazy, man.
Wow.
But like you said, that's what that generation. That's where they got their information.
Yep.
That was their, you know what I mean. That was their way of staying connected.
Yep.
So, but that's crazy. You said that, man. It brought back that memory.
And the politicians weren't as stupid either back then. They knew how to keep certain things quiet and keep their mouth shut. And they knew how to be like, all right, let's make them happy. Let's let them be able to be pro sports. Let's let them be good in music. Let's let this dude be the first black dude to do this. To gouge. Let's let stuff go. And there's some stuff they didn't want. Like Bill Clinton and some of the first people, Ronald Reagan, they wasn't worried about what the rappers were saying in their lyrics. They just say, hey, we run the country. We don't care. These people have gotten so stupid and so petty now, and they thinking that we're so dumb. They don't even know how to be like, hey, let's stop trying to tell these people something that they ain't. And they've doubled down is where they said, oh, this is misinformation. It kills me when I see some of these people say, I'll never forget this. This is during COVID. My mom tries to tell me, MJ, it's a beef shortage in Texas. I'm in fucking Texas. The supermarkets are gonna close down. This and that. And I said, where you hear that at? I'm at the store buying short beef ribs right now. I drive with my people down the highway. We see the farms. We both laughing hard as shit. So much for that beef shortage, right? You know, Texas, the state alone, is the eighth largest supplier of beef in the entire fucking world.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, Texas, man, known for steers.
Do you know that when they was talking in the damn Texas Capitol, and they was saying they was fed up with the Californians coming here. We might ship. They say, hey, we might separate ourselves from the USA like Puerto Rico did, and this be U.S. territory. We don't need no fucking body else to run our economy. We can run our shit ourselves.
Yeah, man, Texas talking shit, man. The motherfuckers, they know what happened. They know what happened. The motherfucker try to succeed. They
Yeah,
know what happened.
yeah.
They ain't gonna try to execute. They just talking shit.
Well, yeah, they just talking shit because basically during that whole COVID run, when Democrats were shutting California down and other places, basically places like Florida and Texas and other places, just like, all right, nigga, go ahead, we'll be all right. You ain't hurting
Shit,
us.
yeah.
Food ain't going up. Listen, gas was still $2.19. It was plenty of food at the grocery store. They shut that shit down about 5 weeks, and everything else is back to normal after that. And all these people from out of around the country try to move in the state. Same thing when I was in Florida one time because I was looking at buying a house down there. Governor DeSantis said, "We ain't gonna keep on doing all these immigrants with these trucks. We need hardworking Americans." They did a whole campaign on TikTok, Twitter, saying the food prices are going up. There's food shortages in Florida. There's shortages of this in Florida because they're not letting trucks come through because all these truckers are boycotting. What do you think happened them 2 weeks when they were saying all that shit online again? I walked right in the store. You think the price went up? You think I had a problem getting shit, MJ?
No, not damn right.
But they'll tell you this on the news, and they'll sit there and argue with you. I remember she was saying one time, say, "Hey, the hospital's at capacity. They shutting Texas down." And I'm sitting there driving around. I'm like, I drove through three parking lots of the biggest hospitals in the city. I said, ain't no damn cars in this emergency room, this parking lot. Like I'm looking, like how Will Smith and uh, uh, Martin Lawrence was looking on Bad Boys, and when Martin kept looking back, he was like, "Yeah, I'm talking to you," and I'm looking around left and right, like, "Huh? What shut down?" So what the news goes around and says is just like the shit with the argument is, hospitals are at capacity, they're shutting down. It was one damn hospital in Houston, MJ, maybe two, that were at capacity and that were shutting down because of COVID. There is 30 million Americans that live in damn Texas. and they wouldn't put on the news. Texas hospitals are shutting down. COVID spreading in incapacity. Mind you, that's two hospitals in Houston. They're out of the top 10 cities in America. There's four of them in mother effing Texas: San Antonio, Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston. On the west, you got El Paso, Lubbock, Amarillo, mother effing Austin, Waco, Temple, Corpus Christi, and Laredo.
Man.
But they telling me on the news, they calling me, telling me Texas is bad. I'm arguing with one of her relatives. They up in Michigan. Texas is really bad. They're this and that. And we both just sitting there looking at them like, how you fuck you gonna tell me? And I'm out at the
I
ball
mean,
right
look,
now.
like, we here. Don't believe what you see on TV. We here. Fuck what you heard. We here.
and that's when
See
I
that?
and that's when I got my perception like what you doing in January, where I'm just like, yo, I'm getting up and I'm gonna go out and see the world before I let somebody sit here and tell me this is that. Yeah, I know some of these places are racist, but guess what? So are the places that I'm at, because what they're telling me is that I have this is the best that I can do in my life, and if I don't go nowhere else, this is that. I told my aunt in New York, and I'm gonna let you finish up. They say they let all these foreigners, Indians, everything else come over here. They can get a damn thing in the subway, newsstand, food stand, right in the subway, right at the D train, right at the platform in Manhattan or wherever. They go down there one time and try and get a black person who was here trying to put their food place in the subway so they can make some food. They make it a living hell for them to put their stand in there. Why is that?
Damn. Damn shame. Damn shame.
Because, nigga, you got to depend on us. If you don't depend on us, the Democrats, and you learn how to make your own money, you'll start voting with your brain and what's best for your wallet. No, you must depend on us. As they say, the Democratic plantation. You got to depend on us. And if you don't depend on us, we'll make it a living hell for you because we can't have that.
Shit, man. That's the look. That's the one thing that the one goal I set when I left my mom's crib, mom's and pops. I did not want to be a dependent, man. Like that was my number one thing. I don't want that to depend on nobody but self.
Yeah,
Like I'm the motherfucker that people gonna be dependent on, not the other way around.
yeah,
I've always had that goal, man,
yeah,
and I stand by it. Like
yeah,
I'm not gonna be dependent. I can tell you one thing. I might get old. I ain't gonna be old and broke. Fuck that.
yeah. And I learned the hard way. I would go out of my way to help this dude who was ended up playing pro ball. He was a big time college basketball player. A dude I was cool with played pro football. And when they got to the league, they got on some real sucker shit. And I never forgot it. And then when they got done and they was down and out, uh, I remember one nigga told me I need to borrow $20 while he was in the league doing well. Wouldn't let me borrow $20 a year or two later. And nigga
Damn.
ain't had no job. And I walked the nigga into the school board like I was telling you I was subbing, and I got him put on a list, and he was making over $100 a day subbing, but when I needed $20, he wouldn't let me borrow $20. I don't fuck with that dude at all no more. I don't think
He ain't worth your time. Ain't worth your time.
no, he ain't worth my time at all. And that's the type of shit I'm talking about. Is when I learned that lesson, what you said, I said I'm gonna be self dependent. I'm not gonna base on their systems. If that mean I gotta go buy a food truck and I gotta move to some place in America they ain't never heard Philly cheesesteaks, then I'll be Philly cheesesteaks selling out my damn food truck, and you'll come pick it up from Uber or Grubhub or whatever, and I'm gonna get my hustle on.
Get it. Get it.
But
However you can do it.
that's what I'm saying. But before we get out, and like as far as this Iran shit is, that's these people's land. They stole them people's land, and those are the type of people, like you said, they from the Persian Empire. They ain't gonna stop. Just like they thought that Afghanistan, those people was gonna submit and quit. And I'm gonna close on that one, and I'm gonna let you finish up. That was the funniest shit ever. They had that dude that was the president. He was the Ashraf Ghani. They gave him the money. They gave him the military power. They trained all the Afghan royal guard. They said women was going to school and they was voting. Uh, how many days when they said that the Americans was pulling out of Afghanistan? How many days later was that president about to fuck up out of there? That they put in power.
Oh, immediately.
They said he took a plane. They took six. He took $600,000 in cash, American money, and he applied for whatever in Dubai, and that's
Asylum.
where.
Yeah, he got asylum in Dubai. Yep, exactly.
Yeah, he was the fuck out of it, and the Taliban took over the palace, and that shit was over with.
It was a wrap, no question. Yeah, bro. Like very, very interesting discussion, man. Like I want to close on this note, man. Like I want to applaud the peoples in the military of Iran for the restraint that they've been showing and not, not being trigger happy and just reactionary to things that have been, kind of being perpetrated against them, man. These people are showing great restraint, but
Yep.
they are also showing uh, a great deal of strategic acumen
Yes.
that, right? Like, no, you're not going to just get us to react. We're not reactionary.
Yes.
We're strategic.
Yes.
And when the time is appropriate, we will demonstrate.
Yes.
So I think the restraint is worthy, is admirable, but I don't think that the other side is going to allow for them not to escalate. They are going to do whatever they can
Yep.
to attempt to escalate.
And we need a strong leader in that says we're not gonna do this because
Yeah,
if both of
yes,
y'all
yes,
parties,
absolutely.
yes, because if both of y'all parties agree that that's what China wants, if you start attacking certain people because China gets their oil from Iran, if Russia and China get involved, as you said, these are the last days. I'm gonna tell you what, that country will not exist no more. They will bomb them off the map.
And that is a distinct possibility, and that's what we don't want. We don't want to get into like they've already started the process
Yeah.
of trying to erase these civilizations. That's
Yes.
all. That's all that side is doing over there right now. They're attempting to erase what was.
Yes. They're trying to wipe
You
that
know,
out, and they don't
right?
understand that that is not going to happen. And as
You know,
somebody
like,
said once, that was wise. You son of a bitch is gonna end up on the wrong side of history.
they don't understand, man. They're blinded by their lust for for power and
Yeah.
domination, and
Yeah.
it can only end very very badly for them, man.
Yeah.
I just don't see how they don't see this.
How to, yeah,
But
because what you gonna do if China get in, Russia get in, all the nations say I done had enough with these. Egypt say let's go. Indonesia say
it don't
let's
make
go.
sense.
It's
It
it's
don't make sense.
yeah, it's a
You
hundred,
surrounded.
right. It's 100 something. It's 100 something nations in the world. It's over one. There's three big faiths in the world, and all three of those are Abrahamic faiths. They all believe in Abraham. The
Right.
Muslims, the Christians, Jews. But y'all don't understand. It's 1 billion Muslims in the world. 1 billion.
Yeah, man.
They are
Yeah.
they are not gonna sit there and let you do the tear their shit down. Eventually, they're gonna say, "All right, motherfucker, this what you want," and it will not exist anymore if you don't go sit your ass down somewhere and just enjoy your power and your peace.
See, and the one thing I fear is that these people um have become so maniacal that they think that there's a viable nuclear option and that it should be used as a deterrent type shit. You know what I mean? Um, that that's the scary part is that
Yeah,
these people have access to those type of weapons. They should never be allowed to have access to those. Not these type of people. Not the people that are doing these things to those people in Palestine. They should not be allowed
no,
to have those types of weapons
right,
at their disposal, man.
right, and they don't understand if they do that, they will get nuked too. They don't. I don't know why they don't
Of
understand.
course, it's right. It's mutual annihilation. It's mutual annihilation. Yep.
Yeah, and
No question.
we gonna be the ones to clean up the mess. So to your point, brother, before we get out of here, I appreciate your feedback. You go over there, you hold both sides accountable, and
Absolutely.
you say to them, hey, Hamas, return the hostages. Israel, stop starting shit. Hey,
And give those people back their land, man.
yeah,
Get those people back their land. Like,
yeah,
yo, just accept the fact you're not spreading, man. You're not spreading.
yeah,
You're not spreading, man.
yeah,
You try to spread, you try to sprawl. Just abandon it, B. Abandon it.
yeah. Yeah, the world goes in history, so like you said, it's going to turn around. And then you forgetting Turkey is one of the top 10 powers. They right there
Oh yeah.
too.
Oh yeah, and that's another wild card. That's another wild card. Just
Yeah,
right, like you said, right on their doorstep,
yeah.
and that's another Muslim country.
And that's what I'm saying. You gonna force these people's hand, and they're gonna be like, all right, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
You
I would agree with you. I
you
100%. I agree with
you gonna see Sunnis and Shiites unite, and their eyes gonna get big as hell.
you. Oh my God. Oh my God, man. Oh my God. Do not want that. Oh my
Nah, yeah.
God.
And you know how we are. You seen what we did with Afghanistan. America, they don't understand. America will pull themselves. Say, hey, well, we ain't gonna empty out. We ain't gonna kill ourselves for you. We'll empty the tank. We'll help relocate y'all, but we ain't about to kill ourselves for y'all.
Oh no, they definitely look. We ain't trying to send none of our boys over there to die in the desert. B.
No,
Let's just be clear, right?
we just did 20 years somewhere, and it was just some guy
Yeah.
who passed away, and it was real sad. It was some guy who passed away, and he was sergeant. I forget. They showed him on the news the other day. He died in Syria fighting against the militias. We supposed to be out of Iraq. We supposed to be done with Afghanistan, and we still got Americans dying in the Middle East. That shit got to stop. And I'm gonna send you that thing. I'm out. We out, bro. We've been rapping for a minute. I'm gonna send you that message where that poor dude. That poor guy said, I tried to tell George Bush that we don't need to do this, and they tried to look at me like I was doing treason. And then when he said, so when I, this is what he said, MJ, and we got at this, he said, when I went looking at all the white crosses in the graveyard in Washington, I at least could say to myself, this shit ain't because of me.
About that, no doubt.
So,
All right, my brother.
all right, good discussion, bro. Peace.
Absolutely, 100, baby. Always a pleasure, Corey.
All right, bro.
Yeah.
Peace.